pose a serious risk to their safety and well-being. And whereas Dog Bite Awareness Week aims to educate the public about the importance and responsibility of pet ownership and preventing dog attacks. And whereas rising awareness about dog bite prevention can help reduce the number of dog attacks on litter carriers and promote safer communities. Now therefore, I, as Mayor of Pontiac, do hereby proclaim April 7th through 13th, 2024 as Dog Bite Awareness Week for letter carriers in the city of Pontiac. I urge all residents to take proactive measures to prevent dog attacks on letter carriers by properly restraining their pets, educating themselves and their children about dog behavior, and supporting efforts to promote responsible pet ownership. Thank you. So proclaimed this day, April 2024. And moving on to the consent agenda, just 2 items.
I would motion acceptance of the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Motion by Kelly, seconded by Scott. Roll call, please.
Barr,
Yes.
Giovanini,
Yes.
Eckhoff,
Yes.
Callis,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Cowser,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Cranford,
Yes.
Howard, yes, Willie.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to the regular agenda, we have a presentation from Melissa Engel, Safe Journeys.
Hi there, I'm Melissa Engel, the Director of Community Engagement with Safe Journeys, and we are your local domestic and sexual violence agency. We serve LaSalle and Livingston counties. We serve on the Livingston County Commission on Children and Youth, the Livingston County Homeless Coalition, among other things, the recovery-oriented systems of care, and we are going to be at the local the Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month big event, the Party in the Park for Prevention with the Health Department at the end of the month. So we are super excited for that. And thank you so much, Jim, for inviting me to speak tonight at this meeting. So, as it says, our mission is to empower survivors of domestic and sexual violence and to end that violence in our communities. And we do that in a variety of ways, especially through our free and confidential services. All of our services can be accessed through our 24/7 confidential support line. We do have an emergency shelter for victims of domestic violence. We do end up with families in our shelter as well as single individuals. And then we also offer advocacy services, medical advocacy in our local primary care providers, as well as our emergency rooms, and legal advocacy in our courts, with our state's attorney's offices, and with law enforcement. We also have advocacy with those who are DCFS involved, as well as case management services, because as you can imagine, those who are in the midst of traumatic events, it's kind of hard to manage all of the stuff, as well as if you have just left everything you know behind and you have gone to seek safe shelter. You might not have things in place like food benefits and housing, and you may have left the person who did have all the power and all the salary and all of that. And so case management services can be really, really helpful in these times. And we also have support counseling and therapy services for those who are seeking that healing in their journey from violence. And we also have prevention services, and these are really focused on increasing the protective factors so that we can have things like safe communities. And I wanted to also mention, and I passed out some rack cards so that you can see those services that I have been describing, but also that we do have services available in Spanish and for our Hispanic populations. The service that is not free is for those we need to hold accountable. We have a partner abuse intervention program, and we have a few groups started in LaSalle County we are really wanting to get a group started here in Livingston County. So if you would pass on the word, we really work on referrals from our court systems. And I know that our PAPE director is really working on building those relationships with the judges and state's attorney's office and to make sure that we get those referrals from that system. As I mentioned, we'll be at that party in the park at the end of April, since it is Child Abuse Prevention Month as well as Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And I think it should be said that, you know, sometimes child abuse shows up in the form of child sexual abuse. And so I think that these awareness months go hand in hand. And it's just one of those moments where we don't like to think about these things, but they happen. And they happen way more often than we think. 1 in 4 children under the age of 18 will experience child sexual abuse, and 1 in 6 boys. So 1 in 4 girls, 1 in 6 boys. So again, not one of those things that we really like to think about, but it's one of those things that we kind of have to just have in mind, and then they say to ourselves, we can do better. We can do better than that, and we have to do it together. So that's why I'm here and trying to build up these partnerships and do some outreach here in Livingston County. So we are on all your basic social media platforms, as well as we have a podcast working to build up those protective factors with caregivers of children and adolescents. And we have our website there, safejourneysillinois.org, and I can make these slides available to you, Jim, to share out. So, all right. Does anyone have any questions for me about our services?
What's it going to take to get the PAPE organization?
Yeah,
What do you need?
we need buy-in. We need referrals from the judges, specifically to our program, and we need more people to be aware of it so that we do get the referrals. Because I know there is also IHR provides this, but I know there's more need. That's why it exists in Livingston County. Like we were able to get the grant to make it happen. It's just we just need the referrals now. Good question. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa.
All right. Well, thank you.
We're glad to see you're active and going strong.
Yeah.
And good luck at the end of April.
Thank you.
Sure. Moving on, I think Liz has some updates for us on the Eagle Performing Arts and Conference Center.
Good evening. So we were actually hopeful that our new employee was going to be here tonight, but unfortunately she had some circumstances that she couldn't get here. So anyway, I'll just talk about her very quickly. We did go through the interview process, and we found a great fit for the Eagle position. Her name is Marianne Minnis. She comes to us. She's lived kind of all over central Illinois, and she actually has a very successful business for 30 years. She's been an independent business owner. A Dash of Splash Decorating is the name of her business. I don't know if anyone's aware of that, but so she's looking to see like what the next phase of her life might be. She's actually has previous experience in a very similar position in another event space outside of our community. And when we met with her and interviewed with her, I was very impressed. She's definitely a go-getter. When she was working in the other facility in a different capacity, she worked there only for about a year and a half, but she said that when she started, they went from never having a single wedding at the venue to having over 60 weddings booked by the time she left. So she's definitely, ready to go. So she started, 2 weeks ago. Last week she was in office, so feel free to stop by. It's a part-time position, but she's back with Misty in Misty's area. Yeah, she had a fun week. We had to get tickets on sale for Arsenic and Old Lace, which opens up soon. But in the meantime, our website, we had a website malfunction. So it was just a lot of things happening all at once. So I said, This is a good time to hit the ground running and learn. So anyway, she's very excited to be a part of our team. She's a great fit so far, and I think that you all are going to be very pleased to be working with her. So that was my update.
Well, real good.
Good.
And you said arsenic and old lace?
Yes.
and
So
Doesn't that kick off?
April 18th. Yeah. So April 18th through the 21st is Vermilion Players' final show for this season at the Eagle, and then they'll go back to the
Pavilion?
to the Chautauqua. Yeah.
All right, real
Yeah.
good.
So,
Thanks, Liz, we
All right.
appreciate it.
thank you.
Look forward to working with Mary Ann. Okay, let's get Chris up. He's got to grind away on something.
So we would like to, thank you, by the way, Mayor. We'd like to renew our contract with Trost Tree Service to do our tub grinding. There's a slight increase this year. I went from, I believe we're at 26.4 last year to 30,000 this year. So 2,300 to 2,500 is the difference per month. But this will include, if you noticed out the golf course, there's a pretty healthy pile of brush out there, so he said he'd go out and take care of that for us as well. I think it's working great, other than being a negative impact on the budget. It's just, it's better than burning, so
A necessary evil.
it is. So I would seek permission to get him signed up for this year.
And how long has he been doing the service?
So last year was our first year, and we pay by the month. It equals out. He was there 10 times, but 2 of those times was over 2 days. So if you figure it by the daily rate, which is basically $2,500 per time, that's what it would be if we hired him in just for a day job.
Okay.
It equaled out for the value for what we were getting. So
Okay.
we
Yeah, well,
we get a lot of brush material comes through our
Yeah.
facility. So
I move to approve Trost for the grinding contract.
I'll second.
Motion by Barb, seconded by Mike Barr to approve the contract for Trost. Roll call, please.
Giovannini,
yes.
Eckhoff,
Yes.
Callis.
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Hauser,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Cranford,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Barr.
Yes.
Thank you.
Super. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks for all your work, Chris.
Okay, moving along,
He is a rock star.
surplus
Yes.
property disposition.
Definitely.
I think Jake has got some property to get rid of.
I mean, that's where they take it all now, up behind the old tennis courts.
Good evening. So
It grows.
this is kind of an interesting one. So the beginning of the treatment plant upgrade project, Oberlander Electric was our electrical contractor, and they brought in an old semi-trailer to house all their componentry and equipment and whatnot. And it served them well, and this is kind of an old worn-out semi-trailer. And we had a heavy windstorm 2 years ago, and it blew the semi-trailer over on its side. And if some of you remember going down the Elks Club Road, that trailer was on its side for about 2 months before the ground was hard enough for them to get Gray's Garage in to upright this trailer. And so the trailer underwent some damage from the fall, and at the end, Oberlander said there's some extra components in there, like pipe fittings and conduit fittings and just nuts and bolts. And when that thing toppled, all this stuff got mixed in together. So you open the doors of the semi-trailer, and it's just a whole mixture of stuff. And they said, it's going to cost us more money to drag it back to Peoria. If we'll let you keep everything in it, are you guys open to keeping the trailer? And I said, of course, because based on everything we've sold on Gov Deals, we've had success, and I know that somebody will give $1 for this trailer. So we'll come out money ahead unloading it. This thing never had a title. It's to the point where I'd probably take it 30 miles outside of town, and that'd be it. But for, say, a farmer or somebody who wants to use it for storage or take it off the frame, to be an option. And we may end up using it in-house, somewhere else. I told Chris, come look at it first and see if they had any use for it, to use it as storage out there. But in the event that they didn't want to use it, I wanted permission from you guys to go ahead and list that as surplus equipment on GovDeals.
Did you talk to any of the recyclers about the contents?
Not really, and again, the amount of time that would need to be spent to sorting through it, I don't know if there's any value in that. To me, the contents in it will drive the price up on the auction, or somebody might give more money just for what's in it. And I said, there's not a lot of value to what's in it either. There's no copper, there's no really high-end stuff. It's just a little piddly components of more or less of conduit installation. But there might be enough value in there to make it a good little auction. So we went through and kept everything in there that we feel we need to keep at the facility, and I told all the departments to go in, sort, and go through it, keep anything we want to keep before we auction it. So I just wanted to get permission that if it comes down to it, nobody wants it, we get everything out of it, if we can auction it on the GovDeals site.
Somebody could have a treasure hunt, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. All right.
I'll approve.
Okay.
Motion for approval.
Motion by Scott, seconded by
second.
John. Willie? Roll call, please.
Eckhoff?
Yes.
Callis?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Cowser?
Yes.
Bradshaw?
Yes.
Cranford?
Yes.
Howard?
Yes.
Willie?
Yes.
Barr?
Yes.
Jovenini?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jay. Okay, moving on.
I know.
Mayor's comments. I've got a couple. I went by, but I wasn't able to stop while it was active. We had an Easter egg hunt Saturday down at Riverside Park. I don't know did anybody on the council make it down there? I saw a reasonable crowd, but I was on my way someplace, so I didn't get a chance to stop. I understand it went pretty well, so. I wanted to make note that Tim Lewis has left the zoning board. Tim resigned for reasons that he's served his time, and he's done a great job, and we're gonna miss him. And we have 2 or 3 people that are interested in being on that board, so we will have a replacement probably at the next meeting. As you know, they've been busy this last year with various projects that we have to work with. Other than that, I was out at the golf course, and it looks to be in shape for the upcoming season. When I talked with Gary the other day and Shannon, we've probably had the best February and March in the history of the course this year. There's just been unbelievably good weather. And then I mentioned earlier that we have a full house, which is really nice to see from the council. Glad to see Bill back in action. So, other than that, city council comments. We're moving along. We like short meetings. City administrator.
I will give a couple then.
Yes.
So, yeah. In the spirit of the proclamation for Dog Bite Awareness Week for letter carriers, just a reminder that Mike Stelter will have his Rottweiler show on May 17th through 19th at the Chautauqua Park. And right now, if you are not aware, the Oaks at River Edge website is down. We had an issue with the billing of the website going. I think it was going to an email address of a staff that's no longer here, and it expired, and so it's getting redone now. So on that website, you can still book a tea time. In the bottom right, like there's a little symbol on the main page, but on the bottom right there it says book a tea time. But otherwise, if you need anything at the Oaks, just call up there to the Oaks. But we'll have that website up very shortly. And let's see. Oh, and then just next Monday will be a zoning board meeting. There's 2 items on the agenda: 2 solar farm special use permit for one, and just a variance for one that already has a special use permit.
Okay. Public comments. Gosh, we're gonna not set a record, but it's gonna be a good, short meeting, so. No public comments? Then I guess we would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I got it.
So moved by Scott.